you know, I could do this down at the other condo. Then I got to carry all my stuff there, and I figured I might as well just make a quick little video right here on it. I'm just going to set the other two at, you know, just as my little landing area. Do you see what I mean? That once I start cutting this, I want to kind of remember about how far I got here, because I don't want this board to kind of move on me. And I don't want it to go out too far and flop down. If I had a couple 2x4s, I could do that too, but I don't. I don't have any, and so this is what I'm going to do right here. I have not used this saw yet. I'm kind of anxious to use it. That was kind of good. The whole time I had to have my hand on there. Oh no, I guess I'm wrong. You just do that to start it. Okay, then you can let go of that, see? I've got it on right now, I'm not even touching that. And it's got a little brake on it too. I'll have to sweep this up when I get done. But that cut a pretty nice straight line there. I'll show you what I do with those next. But actually, I think I should set that down now, shouldn't I? Build this up, because the last thing I want to do is only have one piece on there, especially if you didn't do your blade, if you didn't adjust your blade just right, because you get it too deep, you might hit the floor down there. That's the last thing we want to do there too. Lots of last things we don't want to do, huh? Okay, so this time I'm just going to press my finger on that button. Can you see this? I guess you can. Then I can let go of this button. See, I think that means that the battery's getting low. It cuts off. It'll cut off. And that's what happened. Wasn't like I was hitting anything. Hey, it cracked me up too. I was at Home Depot over by the saw, and I told the guy, I says, I'm gonna need you to cut this long shelf for me. Oh no, we can't do that. That's gonna mess up our saw. How about how to fit? I says, I'm not leaving this store until you cut this. And I said it nicely. I said, if you have to go get your supervisor, go get your supervisor, because I am not leaving until you cut this board for me. You can't tell me your saw is not going to work. You know, they had the big, huge saws cut 4x12s and all kinds of stuff. And they also have a panel saw. So a supervisor came out and he set this on a panel saw. Oh yeah, I'll cut it for you. And he had to tell his worker, hey, you can cut that. Use your panel saw for that. So, you know, sometimes don't just take their word for gospel. Plus, I had to get this in the car. I wasn't about ready to carry an 8-foot piece with me, and I wasn't going to buy these 2-foot long and pay a premium for them. Okay, so I got them cut, and when I'm cutting these, I'm using it's carbide tip blade. That works really good to cut this stuff, and it flies all over the place, so make sure you've got your goggles on, okay? These are just like little clear glasses almost, okay? So now I'm going to cut this last one here. And just go slow. You're not in a race or anything. Let's see if this battery is still got enough charge to cut this all the way through. It's getting low. See, because this is a lithium battery, when it gets low, it just cuts off. And then it will go a little bit more, then it cuts off. The other type of batteries didn't do that, but I like the lithium batteries. And did you see, you know, this doesn't kick up much dust, and it's very easy to handle. Anyone can carry this. I mean, granted, you're not going to use this all day long at a construction site, but cutting a few shelves or a couple little pieces of a trim or something, it does the trick right there. And see, I'm right-handed, and I like to cut on the far right. That way I can see the blade. If I was cutting over on this side, you see, I'd have to look over. I'd have to look over like this to make sure I'm cutting. Plus, I'm having to guess where my line is. Because my line was on the right side of me, and because I'm right-handed, I can see that line right through here, and I know I'm going to cut it nice and straight. Okay? There's a tip for you. Boy, it's loud out here. Man, I wish I was on the mainland freezing my butt off instead of being over here at Maui listening to traffic. Oh well. Hey, okay, now one last thing I do to these shelves. I'm going to take my wood rasp, and this thing's lived with me for quite a few years. Rough. Here's rough here, and a little bit smoother, rough. This has a concave edge, okay? And so I use this thing for all kinds of stuff. Now I'm just gonna ease off this edge a little bit, just to you know, if there's any rough edges on it or whatever. And it's just the side that I use the saw on, because on the back side it's all nice and straight. This could, if you ran your hand on there really hard and fast, you could cut it open. That's how sharp this edge is. And if you know, if you want, you can hit it, but granted, this is going to be on the back side of your shelf up against the back of your cabinet. You don't really need to do it. But if that turns you on and sparks something inside you, go ahead and do it, especially on the corners. You'll see how straight of a cut you are. I'm looking down there, that's pretty straight. And if you're slightly off, it's on the back side, up against the cabinet back. You're not really going to see it, as long as you're fairly good. Hey, I'm just an average Joe. I want you to know, if I can do it, you can do it too. Okay, now before I put those in, these are covered with dust too. I'm just going to take a little rag. I carry my nail bag, dust them off. You know, you might even want to get some all-purpose cleaner, because you're going to have your dishes on here now, and I'll probably do that too. But for right now, I got to get the dust off. And they put a tag on here. Let's see. Hopefully this comes off easy. See, melamine board. Melamine. That's how you spell melamine. Right there. For shelving and organization projects. So see, here's your shelves right in there. You use this shelving for quite a while. It's going to start rubbing your pots and pans on there. It's going to start making black marks on it. But this stuff is pretty cheap, and it's a little bit easier to do that rather than, how else could you do it? You'd have to hire a Formica man. He'd have to make your shelves, order them. They're going to cost you a lot more than $14.98 for 3 of these shelves. Okay, these are going to last you for many, many years. And if you get them much longer than this, most cabinets, you don't get them much longer than this, but if you put too much weight on them, after a while, this stuff might have a tendency to slightly bow. And if they do, you can you can take your shelves out, you can flip them over, and then you can restack your shelf and it will bow back the other way if you need to. Okay, there. I think I'm ready. I've got to clean this up a little bit, and then I'm going to take these shelves out to this condo so we can get their kitchen back together.